The National Assembly today began its third ordinary session with the new draft constitution at the top of the agenda. The Justice Minister is set to table a bill for the repealing of the 1997 constitution and the promulgation of the new constitution. But there was a problem. Journalists were not allowed entrance and they were told at the gate by police. Only GRTS, QTV and iAfrica TV were allowed to cover proceedings. The journalists couldn't hide their frustrations.
A government that have been advocating for justice is now engaged in injustice. Injustice in the sense that the Constitution is saying that there should not be discrimination. And if the whole media houses were banned from entering, one could have said that they may have a reason and we investigate to know the reason. But the fact that they selected some among the media houses indicate very well that that in itself is injustice. And I am disappointed that a government that struggled tooth and nail to uproot a government they accuse of being unjust is now doing unjust. What should have been done is to take all the necessary precautions regarding COVID-19 and prepare the National Assembly. If you believe that you must go through the protocol of COVID-19, well, the protocol is mask wearing. Every journalist here is putting on masks. Social distancing. You own the National Assembly. You make arrangements so that there will be social distancing. If you reach the capacity where you can no longer entertain social distancing, you stop. But that has not been done. My sister, in a nutshell, this is discriminatory at a time when they are laying a very fundamental document to the life of the people. And this is I don't want to accuse them of trying to put dust in the eye of the people, but they don't want the people to understand what is in the Constitution.
It is very disappointing when we come today and we find out that there is a restriction for journalists to come and cover the very important document that is before the National Assembly members, and we found out that we have been discriminated. Only 3 media houses is allowed to come and cover this session. But actually, I get the information since yesterday when I called Jiberu and I informed him that I want the itinerary of the agenda of the National Assembly. Then he told me that there are restrictions in regards to the media houses that will cover the issue, and I engaged the GPU as the institution that is in charge of all the journalists. Then I spoke to Sekou, and Sekou gave me Sirif's number. Then I talked to Sirif Bojan Jr., the president of the GPU, and I put this to his attention that there is a restriction at the National Assembly and you guys should act fastly so that there will be no discrimination. And he told me that definitely they will get in touch with Jibairo. And then expecting that the matter has been solved, today I come to the National Assembly to cover this very important session, and I found out that security personnel has been mounted at the gate and not allowing media houses to cover the issue. But I'm disappointed, more especially the National Assembly. This is the very institution that should safeguard the constitution of this country. And the constitution of the Gambia has not discriminated its citizens or neither discriminate the media. And they are here entertaining the very document that they should protect and promote by allowing discrimination of its citizens. I am very disappointed at the National Assembly that they should not even have entertained that. And we have been covering the sessions of the National Assembly since COVID-19 has came into this country, and we have been adhering to the Ministry of Health regulation that have been by coming with our nose masks, creating the social distance, and there's a thermometer that is at the gate. Before you enter, they will test you to know your temperature. So actually there is no risk at coming to the National Assembly. So it's alarm the bell that what are they hiding? When we were covering and the same COVID-19 is here, now they are restricting people when a very important document is before the National Assembly. It is very disappointing from the National Assembly.
The GPU, however, stated that they were not aware of these restrictions.
The Gambia Press Union, I must state for the records, is not involved or aware of any communication by the National Assembly or any arm of government restricting or limiting the number of journalists entering the national or covering the National Assembly proceedings of today. We were not involved. We were not communicated to. We definitely were not going to support any effort to discriminate or limit the media houses that are going to cover such a national event. What we were going to do if we had been consulted, particularly when it comes to the television, we would have advised them to perhaps find a lead media house that could have do the covering, and other media houses can take the footages from that media house. But an outright restriction, the GPU could not have supported that or be involved in such an arrangement. What we can do is to engage the authorities at the National Assembly in a discussion. Going ahead, what had happened already today, cannot be changed. But going ahead from today, what we can do is to engage them in a discussion to make sure that we avoid occurrence of this kind of thing going forward.
The president, however, on Thursday will be visiting the National Assembly, but will journalists from other media institutions be granted access? We're yet to know. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, Jack CCJT.